My name is Vladimir, yes. Tell me your questions.
Well, there's probably only one question. For how long we have stuck here and how this is all is happening.
For how long you stuck?
Well, how are we stuck? How does the exchange generally take place? How does it happen at all? How is this?
Your side is asking you. We'll hand you over right away.
So, do they have to know, yes, that we are prisoners of war, or from here transfer information that now you have such prisoners?
The Red Cross visited you. How long were you in captivity?
I have been here for months now. We are together from the same day.
7 months.
Yes.
And you have already been visited by the Red Cross?
On the last week.
Last week.
Yes.
Well, they should pass on information about you.
Exactly the Red Cross or who?
Our side also does not hide the fact that you are in captivity.
Well, yes, no, in general, I'm more than happy with that's happening here and how they treat us. That is, there are no rude words, no bullying, neither physical or moral. There is food, it's quite good, because in the positions we were in, we didn't eat properly for 4 months.
But it doesn't suit us that you are here. Do you know why?
We can probably guess.
Well, what can you guess?
Well, it doesn't suit the fact that we are prisoners of war, or the fact that we entered your land.
This is all one cause of effect.
Yes, the fact that we did the wrong things. When I started to communicate with the guys who took us captive, the military, the RVC, who took us, we discussed a lot of things. The guys are so great, but they also explained it. Well, what's the point? Why did you come here? What kind of mayhem is this? You came to a foreign land. Why? For what purpose? That is... And from here, I thought narrowly in this direction. Well, I have a family. I need to earn money. I have been in the army since birth. My parents are military, my grandparents, my father and my mother are all military. That is, so I went with one goal, money earning and to increase career growth. But I never thought about what we are actually doing.
Money earning and career growth. And you're a military personnel, right?
Well, how? I'm a contract-based military, but I have been in the military for almost 16 years.
Understood. Understood. Why were you kept in reserve for so long?
Well, look, it turned out for me that when I arrived with the guys, I was offered the position of company commander. But unofficially, until they make the position official for me. And that's all about for me. I controlled the company in peacetime, but we didn't get along very well with the battalion commander. He began to wiggle back and forth. I say I don't work like that. One for all and all for all. He says, well, don't you like it? Well, now I'll arrange it for you.
One for all and all for all, right?
Yes. Roughly speaking, I'll arrange it for you now. He sends me, locks me up in prison for 2 days. 2 days later, they come to me and say, buddy, get ready, in 2 hours you'll be gone.
In short, I understand that the story is interesting. You don't remember your number, right? So there's no reason to try.
I only remember the mother's number,
well,
that's all.
WhatsApp, Telegram, Viber, I don't know, something like that.
No.
Well, those calls are blocked in your state, so we won't be able to call that number from Ukraine. So you will hope that you will be watched. Well... And as a matter of fact, they will record it somehow, because our side is ready to hand you over, but there is one nuance. Your side doesn't really want to believe that you're in captivity at all.
Well, it's very presumably. I really hope that this video will reach you and the call will work. My father is a military man.
That is why we're
now
here.
retired.
Introduce yourself. Last name, first name, date of birth, where from. This is classified information. You don't need it. So here it is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Understood. This is classified information. You don't need it. Date of birth? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Understood. So... Well, now for your story, then. Let's start with you. We can talk on you. You can ask some question of your own, that's it. We're just having a conversation. The purpose of the conversation is to tell your story. What was it like, first of all? What was it like?
How was it?
Are you a contract soldier or mobilized?
Contract soldier.
Contract soldier. When did you sign the contract?
March 26 this year.
March 26 this year. The war had been going on for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
That is, what is the motive for signing a contract?
Motive?
Yes. Well, your personal motive for signing the contract.
See what's going on here? Money.
See what's going on here and the money.
Uh-huh.
If it weren't the money, would you go and see what's going on here?
Don't know. I would really think twice about that.
So after all, what is more important, see what's going on or the money?
Both.
What exactly did you want to see?
Well, what's really going on here, not what they are showing on TV, but in general.
What was shown on TV? What did you see? What did you perhaps doubt?
Don't know.
What's your name again?
Sergey.
Why did you come? You volunteered to talk by yourself. If you don't want to talk, why did you come?
I don't know, I can't talk right now.
What so?
I just have a headache after a concussion. I can't formulate anything. I can't talk, in short. I don't know what else
What
to
is
say.
the purpose of coming to talk with a journalist then?
I didn't have such a goal.
They told me that two of you definitely want it, and you like as soon as the camera opened.
Right now, at the moment, I can't talk. Everything hurts.
Well, it turns out that Where have you been taken captive?
What?
Where have you been taken captive?
At the factory.
On the aggregate?
Yes.
Volchansk?
Yes.
You too? Are you sure you haven't given an interview yet?
Well, Dima came, but we didn't get along with him.
Why?
Well, he started making some confrontations with me, with one more person, and I just stopped having this dialogue.
What kind of confirmation was that?
Yes, from a different position, a person who, well, how can I say this specifically? Not very good, not very conscientious.
Not very good, not very conscientious.
Yes. Here, and that's why the swearing has already begun there. He says, okay, turn it off. That's, and the fact
Why?
that he promised a call for me too. Well, I don't know. I probably either finished it or it didn't work. I don't know for sure.
How long did you talk?
About 15, 20 minutes probably.
15, 20 minutes.
A violent altercation started, and I say I'm done. He says, that's it, let's finish, turn it off. That's it, take him
So
away.
you're an officer?
No, I'm a sergeant.
Sergeant.
A reminder there when the eldest died.
What's your call sign?
Altai.
Were you sitting in two different buildings or what?
In general, well, yes, different positions. We
What
had
building
7
were you in?
positions. Well, how is it? Hangar. Administration.
Administration.
Hangar.
Yeah, and they?
And they are in other hangars. First, second buildings, somewhere in hangars closer to the checkpoint, to eastern, somewhere closer to southern, somewhere in the center. Some try to go to the second floor, some are near the dining room. Well, that is like this all around the fence.
Uh-huh.
This is how it turns out, semicircular.
It's clear. What position were you in?
Also the administration.
Yes, you were together.
Yes.
As I understand it, the conversation here is about the fact that they got flying some food and all sorts of jokes, but for you...
Well, accordingly to his words, yes, this is exactly the case. We heard on the radio that the birds were not reaching it and everything else, but no one was interested in this. There were scouts with us, then they left. They got some drops separately. They shared it with us exactly with our position. In principle, that's all. When I started asking him why you're here, well, in short, this is not a very good person who allowed himself to drink and everything else in the position where he found it. And he was insane, and he didn't carry out when he was given instructions. He didn't follow it, to put it mildly.
Well, since I see you've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes now, and you don't particularly want to talk, then I don't see the subject of our discussion here as anything special. What department do you have?
138th Regiment.
138, right?
I have an assault company, and here at the 138, but assault. Well, we are different. They have battalions, but we have a separate unit.
Are you disappointed in what happened?
Yes.
Well, are you sincere when you say this?
I say this sincerely. I'm very much well as best I can. I didn't even really think about what was happening, what exactly was happening here, and how it was all coming out in principle. That is, and then just by talking, turning it all over in my head, well, it's so low that you just bomb to trash the cities when you come to someone else's land. People in principle fight for their own. They don't interfere with us. They fight for their own, and we come as if dictating, so to speak, our own rules. That's what you can call it. Well, to put it mildly, plus...
Trying to dictate?
Yes. This is a very appropriate word.
It's been 2.5 years now. Yes?
Well, yes. February, I think the 22nd, it will be 3 years already. Some kind of, I don't know, this is not a war, and besides, on our territory they don't call it war. Nobody announced, but these are two different things. You understand what war is in Russia. If you call it by such a name, it means that enterprises are closing and the entire people are standing up to provide for the state. And here they don't even do that. Also, we are on full-fledged war. Mobilization is being announced. Somehow there is no mobilization for a special military operation.
Agree.
So, well, this tribe, honestly, I worked like this and we didn't share it, so they threw me away. Basically, well, yes, that's it. They given it, you're a platoon commander, that's it lead. And the saddest thing, not the saddest thing, one of the unpleasant events is that we were not even given any instructions. We were simply thrown into meat like this. Well, how can I say it in military terms?
Well, then it was probably necessary to hold the position.
No, there was no indication at all, from the word absolutely. What to do, where, what, and why. There was not a single word. They didn't even let us pick up the ammunition, so you understand. Ammunition. The entire military platoon had 4 to 6 magazines maximum. That's all there was. All. Not a single point where there are friends, where there are enemies, was not designated to any of the platoons.
Well, in theory, you already told Denis and Dima this whole story on the record,
and
right?
And Dima only asked me how worked his, that's... Denis, I mean, how his unit worked.
Denis is understandably
Dima asked
interested
me
in
how
this.
I am, what I am, how I am, and here at this predator.
So you talked for an hour and a half only about how you worked?
Well, then we had another altercation with him.
This is 10 minutes of arguing.
No, not with him. I was also there with Dima, also in this video. He tells me, you're lying. I say, well, that's the point of lying here if I'm sitting here now. Well, the fact that you're not telling enough truth about what happened is, then he called this predator. I say, how does a person from different position can now talk about me, the same simple soldier? Because at the moment I was just as much a fighter as he was. And no more, I was not a commander there or anything. The commander was completely different.
Tell me again, why you went to Ukraine in the first place?
Well, exactly here?
Well, how are you talking to them?
With the battalion commander, yes, my relationships didn't work out very well.
Where did you serve?
In Kursk at the training ground.
In the regiment ground.
They brought people to me, I worked with them, drove them, took them away, provide for them.
You're a company commander in the
responsibilities of a company commander. No, I'm telling you unofficially. Until I was assigned the position, I drove unofficially. I acted as company commander.
Being a sergeant?
Yes.
For what purpose did you go to war? From prison?
From prison? Yes. To free myself, to rehabilitate myself, to receive a full amnesty, and naturally so that my children can easily get an education.
Who started the war?
Russia.
For what?
Invaded. There was also another friend like him with me, may he rest in heaven, he also died at the factory, the same story. Then with the battalion commander like this, I say, listen, I don't work like that, I don't need this. I'm here fulfilling everything you say, all the duties. If you don't like something, it works out.
What did he want from you?
Well, he didn't like that he gave us on Thursday. He says you have a day off on Sunday. We supposedly left for the day off. But it turns out that you don't have any days off. Are you crazy or something? Are you deceiving and everything else? Then prison and then all the SMO.
Yes. Yes, it's clear. And that's it. And they send you here.
Yes, and here no one explained anything. Yes, you're there now on the outskirts of the city. They will drop you off. They will explain everything to you, give you all the points, and load you with ammunition, and you will go little by little. As a result, we are thrown right into the very center, where ours, in principle, were not present. That's it. It's just a mess of a platoon. That's it, and that's it. The cars quickly fly away, not allowing us to take away any ammunition, no provisions, no water, nothing. Just when I came out on the radio, they said, "What are you whining about?" I say, in the sense of whining, what kind of ask does a platoon have? Where to go?
You're
What
commander.
to do?
You're supposed to lead someone somewhere.
Well, so I must have some kind of task. They must give me a task. This is your task to move there, for example, to capture that strong point and hold it. Well, like this,
But
for
do
example.
you understand what your task is?
I didn't have a task. No one told me
Now,
about
do you
it.
understand?
Of course I
Well,
understand.
which one?
Simply for the light bulb. Yes, just a meet to find out where the positions are, maybe at most to let people die. Yeah, they're shooting there, now we know
Detect and living targets.
Yes, that's right.
Uh-huh.
And you know, this is very unpleasant, and 4 months spent at the factory to see the wounded die.
Did you stay there for 4 months? Oh, so
Yes.
you spent a damn lot of time there.
And he stayed there for 4 months and a
How
half.
many of yours died during this time? How many people did you kill during this time?
110 of our people died. 110.
What about
109.
ours?
And if I'm not mistaken, there are about 5 of your people, and even then it's
Under what
only potentially
circumstances,
they
for
died
example?
because when running from position to position, it was about 230 meters from us. There was an open section of the road. This is where they run across. That is a kind of open zone to shoot right through, one might
What
say
did
so.
you shoot with? From what?
Kalashnikov.
And a machine gun.
The machine gun was not working there at the time. Well, there was one collision. It was sudden because we wanted to eat. We went to private houses to find something. Twists, jars, I don't know, pickles, jams, because we have to eat something in
Why
the
didn't
end.
they deliver food to you?
Who's driving there? I'm telling you, there are birds that are kamikazes FPV. Now it was loaded on them, and whether it reached or not, that's it.
What are you going to load on it?
Well, 2.5 kilograms maximum.
2.5 kilograms.
Here, a total of 7 birds were sent. No more. And the fact that they did not reach lay somewhere
And
there
what
on the
this
site.
predator is telling, that is, you got it, they didn't
This is
get
nonsense. But it doesn't reach them in principle at all. All birds 7, if God forbid, this has never happened before, so that 7 birds reach. He calls the senior of positions we had as senior handsome, his call sign. Call so this much came. So how many of you are there? Yeah, 10 people, 2 packs of pasta, 2 cans of stew. So how many of you there? 5 people, 1 pack of pasta, 1 can of stew. So how many of you there? 20. Yep, 4 packs of pasta, 4 cans of stew. So today their tea has arrived, guys, so there are 6 bags for you. So how many of you are there? 10? Here are 10 bags for you. Yes, a sweetener. So guys, here are 40 tablets for you and 40 tablets for you. This is how it happened. Everything that came was collected. And one more count.
Didn't they get anything?
It always came through to everyone, so it was shared equally for all. More about FPV, they don't fly at low speed, they don't fly up like this and don't land with this package. They just hit the wall with such force at least 60 kilometers per hour. The fact is that neither the jars nor the pasta in the sense remain intact. They scatter like this, people walk around and collect them. To the fullest.
Understood. Are there people from Volchansk from the aggregate plant still in the cell with you?
No, there are none.
There are no such people.
It's just the 2 of us. We had, as I say, 170 people, only 8 people left alive.
So?
And so the 2 are in a very serious condition, as I understand it. Well, they are somewhere, probably, maybe in a hospital. I don't know their
Under
story.
what
Total 6.
circumstances you say that 110 of your people were killed?
You know, they are actually very sad stories. People went crazy. People were malnourished. People shot themselves. People turned from wounded to dead because there was no medicine or help, no rotation, that is
Yes, speak.
exchange, rotation.
Understand.
That's all, stood there and changed them. That is, all this did not happen. People were dying before our
Did
eyes.
they shoot themselves?
They shot themselves also. There were at least 3 people
you
like
should
that.
be brain damaged to shoot yourself.
Let's just imagine for a second, yes, if you manage to do so. You've been staying for 4 months, no one knows where. Don't know if you'll eat the next day. What will happen the next day? This constant story that right now you will all be changed, everything will be fine. This, you're malnourished, you're going crazy. You've been surrounded for 4 months. Without any light of hope. For something better. Of course, some will go crazy, some not so much.
Well, okay, how about quieting and giving up?
Well, it's still quite simple. No, there were some dialogues, but they seemed to be stopped very quickly.
Did you shoot your own?
No, under no circumstances. For what? No, just guys, let's close this dialogue. He is not needed
What
here at all.
should you have to do? How could I help you so that you would still come out and surrender in this situation? How I could help here? What I need to do? Should I send you a phone on the drone so you can talk to me or what?
It also came on drones, but only voice messages. Give up on the column.
But this,
But they didn't listen to this. You see, people waited and hoped.
this is
Hope it
inoffensive
the
because
last
there
to
is
die.
no dialogue. There is only a remark in
Well,
your
yes.
direction. If we had talked to you, explained.
Well, it's like...
Or would you not speak?
I honestly can't know this, but in the end we started a dialogue, so well, it's like...
How did the dialogue start?
There was one attack on us. There was a second attack on us.
So?
That's, we fought back. The third attack had already occurred. How long will you guys fight, he says. You are all injured,
How does
now
he
you
speak
will
into
run out.
megaphone?
No, look here, for example. Well, let's take a building about 150 meters away. The artillery and tanks bridge the middle where there's a huge embankment. Nothing can get through or over it. You're not doing anything. Then you can only bypass it. Here at their decal on that side, on this side we are. And the dialogue began. Guys, you're all wounded. You already don't have any ammunition. Are you ready to die there already? This is how the dialogue
Well,
went.
he shouted there before you, right? From
Yes, he
this
managed to
distance.
shout for us. I am telling you, maximum 150, but there was 100
talking to
meters
you?
between us. Oh, the call sign was... I don't remember the call sign. Here, from their side, that is, we came to the conclusion that, and while this dialogue was going on, we came and it was as if we were really surrounded. Moreover, we were surrounded by
Yes.
2 rings. In 2 rings. That is, they stood here on this side, on here. There in the distance, there was
So?
a cliff. There are 2 people on the 2nd floor.
Yes.
That is right below us. That is, in principle, well, based on the fact that we still have a belt for a machine gun, about 12-13 magazines for the entire wounded crowd.
You say machine gun, and you say there were no machine guns.
No, I'm saying it wasn't working at that time. You can listen, they didn't work. There is only 1 belt left in the machine gun. Well, for 8 people, all braked.
As you say, they didn't work, but there was only one
No,
tape
I'm saying
left.
at the time when you first asked, when people were running through, I'm
We're
saying
pressed. Let's
they
move on.
weren't working. In this fight, yes, it worked. It was during the ramp up of their decay, it worked. That's, and it was like, well, we were surrounded. That is 12, these 13 magazines that are left for everyone. This is the maximum. Well, how many? Well,
2 minutes of battle, right?
Yes, that's the maximum. That is, well, there was no ammunition left at all. There were no grenades, there was nothing to reload with. Each already had 3-4 rounds. On this day, the League and we were triggered by TMs, well, tank mines, so they planted them on the walls and we were completely buried. My legs were broken, my fingers were broken, my nails were gone. The League was also broken like this, he can't even walk normally. The guys are very heavily wounded, whose legs are already pierced, shot through and everything else. Well, to find there, well, that's all. There was no longer, as it were, not to mention, yes, there was simply so strength to fight, so that is all. Guys, either we are done with you now, or you give up. Come on, don't be stupid without a fight, you won't be able to fight back. But everyone really understood that it was, well, impossible to fight back. That's it. The battle is over. That's it, loss. But they treated us. I thought now we...
Then let's look at the footage you have, what you sent me, and you will comment there. Yes, what it was and how it happened, because it is impossible to understand more clearly. Here what is happening there. We turned down the sound in a lot of places because it's quite aggressive here. YouTube does not like it. What's going on?
In this video there is an assault on, one might say, the second of the main buildings. That is, the first main building was stormed, and that's where I immediately ran out. This is a high-rise building, and during the assault an anti-tank mine is used.
Well, in general, an anti-tank mine is a thing that is placed on the road. A tank should be blown up on it. But what's here?
And here is our commander, a creative person, Slavian, big greetings to him, decides that the assault will take place with the help of anti-tank mine. He says, let's try it.
So?
Well, of course, who if not we? If not we, then who?
What does assault with anti-tank mine mean? Should you take it on your hands and run?
Yes, it was necessary to prepare it for detonation, run and simply throw it into the building where there are enemies. With your hands inflict such a good fire defeat and
this in
clean up
fact
the remains.
The same aggregate plant?
This is the same aggregate plant, yes. This is the footage from there. I throw this mine directly. A common device in anti-tank mine.
This now a freeze frame. What is this, an anti-tank mine?
Yes. Well, I threw it from my shoulder just like that, further
just
away
like
there.
That?
Well, just like that. She flew away by
and
the hand,
here it is
and that's
flying.
it.
And
Yes.
this is a freeze frame. Is there a full video? Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
No, that's the next thing.
This is another anti-tank mine.
This is another one.
Wait, did the first one reach somewhere?
Yes. The assault ended here from the enemy. And this point for the enemy,
Good
the
ending.
assault is ended. There's a more interesting story. Again, Slavian, our commander, our father, the head of the war, decided that this time there will be two of them. I don't know whether I told you or not how he liked it or didn't like it.
No, he didn't tell us that.
But he told us that he really liked it. And two of them are flying directly. These are two anti-tank mines at once.
You blinded that together or what?
We just tied two anti-tank mines together with tape. One of them was attached to a blasting fuse, well, a detonation wire, with a primer. Well, just a detonator without a primer. We'll just set it on fire and that's all. It exploded like this. The first floor is cleared, you can go in.
He already told me this.
Yes.
He already told me this. Well, however, wants to listen to this interview later.
Well, here you can see two anti-tank mines blasting fuse.
Listen, well, war is constant creativity, right?
Yes.
That is, there are templates, but there is also room for imagination.
Well, for war art and all such things, in our unit responsible is Slavian, our immediate commander, comrade in arms. He looks after us like we are children. He knows what needs to be done, who needs to be directed where, so that everything is beautiful. Well, after the explosions of this mines itself, my trio who arranged these fireworks, we went further to the second floor through the rubble. And that's it. Then we shout to them, well, what are you going to do? Will you continue to shoot back or what? And they say, well, now we'll think about it. They are trying to shoot back and force and something else. As a result, we threw grenades, also suppress them, and again enter into dialogue with them, directly with Altai. An interesting point is what this Altai is doing next. I don't know whether told this to you or not.
Maybe not. I'll tell you what he told me. He said that they had about 12 marks left for AK. And a few grenades, I think, and all this would have been enough in any case there for about 2 minutes of fighting. That's what he told me.
But he shouted to us, yes, we will give up. We wait for the next day and go out. At that moment, he called the artillery on the radio on himself. And ARB, well, it's good that their ARBs are flying incomprehensibly. But probably the closed projective arrival was there about 50 meters away from us. Their artillery raids always went like this, so that when they ordered them, for some reason it hit their own buildings. Carpet bombings, there are various TOS they order, they are told, yes, that's it, now there will be support, you'll go in and clean them up. An hour 2 passes and airbs fly and hit their own buildings, and some Sonsapeoks, heavy artillery. They shout, well, you're hitting a little in the wrong direction, there will an adjustment, it's taking place there in another building. And so, with the help, with the support of Russian artillery, they surrendered, one might say.
So you mean this one Face who told me how bad everything was them there, how they weren't given a task, how they had nothing to eat, and how they decided to give up because the ammunition had run out. In fact, it also just itself caused fire on itself. I mean, it was going to be disposed of by itself and accordingly take you with itself.
Yes.
Do you understand correctly?
Yes,
That's the
everything
difference
is correct.
between interview with a prisoner of war about whom you know nothing, and this is how it usually happens with me. I don't know anything either about the situation, about him. I have 2, 3 of them there, I'm already talking to them. From an interview when you have at least some information, yes? And it's not you so perceptive, as it were. You just already know how it was, and accordingly, your questions and approach are already completely different. Well, in general, that's not the point. And, in short, what they threw RBS, it happens, right?
Yes,
But they
RBS.
just kept flying.
It's unclear where. Yes, and it's good,
And
actually.
then, in short, is he tired, or have you already forced them to give up as it happened? Or did they finally understand that they had to give up?
They realized apparently that they had to give up no matter what. Well, they had no choice. We left them no chance, no choice. We left them nothing. They had wounded already heavy, medium, and light there of all kinds there were. Well, not many people actually, and that's all. He said that next day, let's do ceasefire time for a little, at least. Now I will persuade everyone, and he persuaded everyone, and they all came out the
And
next
well,
day.
he told the final part the same way. He just made the episode where he called fire on himself. But do you understand that these are Russians that ditch us all?
Yes, I talked with them for a very long time. They told me their politics, what are they starting from, what are they fighting for, against what, well, regime...
Well, what do you disagree with? Or do you agree?
You know, I heard that, well, what are they called? It is the first, this is how they come there, it is the second, and what is their ideology, what? Well, they will only support them in principle because of what? Because of the regime that we had in our country. What is the right word to say? Imposed. This is how I'll probably say it. Well, and plus the fact that, guys, well, why did you come? Where did you come? Why are you here? I'm just asking myself a question. I'm just asking myself why. But there is no logical answer. Perhaps an answer, an excuse, but it's not there.
That is, they understand what they are fighting for, relatively speaking, but you don't.
Yes.
So?
Yes. Well, that's exactly it, because I came with a narrow goal. Okay, they sent me, okay, that's how much time is left, now I'll complete this task, I'll get my money, goodwill, and go home. That's it, I'll forget it like a bad dream. My only goal, rudely speaking, was for my family to be provided for narrowly, I thought. Well, there was no such thing, you know, as they say, for an idea, probably, or something else.
Has anyone ever had it?
Someone misunderstood someone, you know. I, for example, still can't understand because I heard some, not here. Here probably everyone is beginning to understand what is really happening. There, here I am for the idea, for the country, but how to understand for the country, but Ukraine did not invade us.
Invaded.
Well, that's already so, because this is already a war.
Well, you understand, right?
Yes, I understand what you're talking about perfectly. By the way, this was the case. We found a broken radio there. We connected a battery to it, and here is this 1-minute radio. There was news, they say. Here Ukraine entered the territory into Kursk, broke through, and the radio broke down. That is, in 4 months, even so with our command, it is impossible in 4 months not to reach for medicines
I
to
see,
arrive.
that's all. Well, in short, everyone know they don't care about you, and they don't care about you. This is not news here, especially since I think you already told me this. I'm more interested in, you talked to the RVC, you talked, these are in fact your fellow countrymen, and these are even your fellow citizens, and yours too. Well, they believe that Putin started this war in vain. To put it mildly, he started this war in vain, but in fact he's just a stupid killer in short, who already, because of whose decisions, hundreds of thousands of people have already died. For him and his associates. And do you agree or disagree with this?
The only thing I disagree with is why it was necessary to declare this war in which people will die, innocent of anything. In principle, people who, as military men, are obliged to carry out orders.
Not obliged.
Well, you can say it like this.
They are not
Which
obliged.
will-
They are not obliged to carry out an unconstitutional order. You have a constitution, such a thing for unleashed and aggressive conflict.
National conflict.
Yes, and a conflict. Crossing foreign territory with weapon, it is all punishable by your own laws. Whatever you call it, it's SMO or not SMO, any military man should understand what this is all about, what is happening. And so he doesn't owe anything to anyone. He is obliged only, in what sense. Here the state gave him a mortgage, there gave him an apartment, then gave him that, gave him this, and the state will take it all away from him if he doesn't go. Here he is obliged, but how is he obliged?
Well, how obliged? He's going
he
to earn
goes
big
to earn
money.
money just like you,
Without
you.
realizing which way.
Yes, like all of you. That is, he is obliged because he is forced to do so. But from a moral point of view, from a legal perspective, no one is obliged to do anything.
It is probably this moral point of view that is omitted in this case.
Is omitted?
Because you begin to realize it. Yes, they will take everything away. There is any easy way they kind of push you towards this. Everything will be fine. Whoa. Minimum 200, maximum 500. Go, buddy, in 3 months you will close, and then no one thinks, especially those who have never been in the army. They don't think that you can still die there. He thinks everything will be easy. But Russia is a great country. There are a lot of us. This is how it turns out that a lot of us are being laid out in layers.
When
just
you look
like
at
that.
the map, you think that there are a lot of you, right? Could this be the impression?
No, I know how many people we have, yet that half of our territory is just forests and fields.
Not half. Not half. Have you ever seen Bangladesh?
No.
No? Well, so that you can compare, yes? Do you see this? Bangladesh. But this floor in front of you, this is Russia in comparison. Bangladesh, 167 million population. Russia?
Well, about
No,
the same.
not the same.
174.
140 in the best case.
Even so.
Germany and France together. I won't say exactly how much now, but probably somewhere around 190 Germany and France together, 2 European countries. Have you seen Europe at least in comparison with Russia?
Well, naturally.
Well, if Bangladesh is this, then Europe
Well,
is
a
this.
little bit.
But the rest is
Russia
here.
again.
That is not half of your territories are empty. You have 80% of the territories empty for a free walk at all.
Probably instead of
The
doing
problem
this.
is that you don't have the basic knowledge. No one at all. In general, where you live, you are not interested in anything at all. I don't know how they made you people like this. I have no idea. But Sergey, for example, when a person looks at me and says, I came to see what's going on here, he says, I don't want to, my head hurts, I'm not pushing it. I came to the war to see what's going on. How can you describe it? What assessment can you give? Well, give me your assessment. The war has been going on for 2 years. Open them Telegram, YouTube, whatever, look here. I came to see what's going on. Is this a normal person? Tell me.
Well, look, probably, as I tell you, the person probably just, put it that way. I think it is much
I
more
asked
than
again
just to
3
see.
times. For money or to see? So is it more just to see or for the money?
Most of us come here specifically for the money. Specifically for easy money. He thinks so. At least it's easy money.
Okay, I see. Serasha, I have one question for you, the only one. Would you come here again to see what's going on here?
No,
if
of
only
course not.
You. What and how?
No.
I mean, do you understand, right? Something
Yes.
wrong, what do you imagine is happening?
Yes, far from it.